Yo guys, welcome to Convention Help Desk episode 4, where today I'm talking about hotels and pretty much everything you need to know. There's not a whole lot. I'm going to try to keep this short, see what happens. So to start off, a little bit of credentials, I guess. NewCon is my 12th hotel that I've booked for a convention, and I have been to 13 conventions, with one of those being a one-day convention, which you don't need a hotel for. So all of the other weekend conventions that I've gone to, which is 12 other conventions, I've booked hotels for each of them, and so I think I know what I'm talking about here. So the first thing I want to talk about is how to book a hotel. So when you book a hotel, you usually call them, if you're just going out like on vacation or something, you usually call a hotel and you try and get prices, go online, go to Hotline or whatever. I don't know the other sites because I don't do them, but these are just in case. And then you try to get the best rates, and then you call them up or go online and use the online booking and book a room, and you just follow whatever it says or whatever the person on the phone says. But at a convention, it's a little different. Usually if it's at a convention center like SoccerCon is and like KomoriCon is going to be, they will usually contract with the surrounding hotels, usually within like a 5-block radius, and they'll get all the hotels and they'll lower the prices for the attendees because they're staying at an event. So try to get those hotels. If you're going to a convention like NewCon or like KomoriCon was, or like AkiCon, where they're in hotels, the actual convention takes place inside the hotel, try to book that hotel. Or KomoriCon was in 2 hotels, so I picked the cheaper of the 2. So try to get into the hotel that the convention is held in, if it is in one. And one more thing before I get into really detail about booking it is, I'm going to talk about this later too, but it's knowing your area. Try to know your area, like go early. So if you know what hotel you're going to or which hotel the convention is in, or whatever, know the surrounding area. I mean, that's just like a general thing anyway, wherever you are, try to know the general area. Like if I was going from here and I was going on vacation to, I don't know, Portland, I guess, since that's technically what I'm doing, I'm going to want to know the area. A good way to do that is to ask people down there. I have friends down there, so I can ask them. Sometimes you can't, and that's okay. Use Google Earth and look around the area, and you can also use Google to find things in the general area that you're staying in. Like you can use the address or the landmark, like the hotel you're staying at, and put fast food restaurants by whatever, and then it'll let you know what's around the area. So booking for a convention hotel is a lot different than booking for a regular hotel for vacation. So like I said, when you book for vacation, you call or go to Hotline or something where you can, or Hotwire, that's the word, Hotwire, not Hotline, Hotwire.com. You can go to, I think that's it. Whatever, I don't care. Like I said, I don't use them, but it's different than doing that. You can call the hotel if it's like a convention in a hotel, because that hotel knows that the convention is happening and they're allowing it, so they have that block set off anyway. So if you tell them that's what you're there for, they'll usually be like, oh, okay, you're in this event, so we will give you that price. But if it's like a contracted hotel with a convention center, then you're gonna want to do it. There's really only one good way to do it. Keep a lookout on the website of whatever convention it is. Usually it's convention, whatever the convention name is, .org. It's usually what it is. All the conventions I go to, they're all .org. So go on there and it'll tell you that they'll have an announcement on the front page eventually for when the hotels are accepting people booking for that price. So wait for that, and then click on that, and it'll say click here to book a room or something, and then it'll take you through this process, and go through that process. So I'm going to tell you a couple things you need for the process of booking a room, and this is pretty much for both calling and going online, but you're going to give them the same information anyway. But if you do it online, there's no messing it up because you see what you type. You don't see what the person on the phone types. So I'd prefer doing it online because I'm the one putting it in, but you never know. So a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need your full name and address and phone number, regardless. So if you're the one booking, you need all that information regardless. And you need a debit or credit card. Don't be scared by the word credit card. They don't mean like American Express or Discover only or something, or Capital One only. You can use your Bank of America Visa card if you want, but you will need a card with your name on it if you're booking it. You can't book with your parents' card. Your parents have to book, and they have to be there to check in and check out. If they do check out. Some of them don't do check out. Like, they just give you the receipt and you're good to go. But they will need to be there to check in, regardless. And the last really is just the same information for anybody else who's staying. If you're booking the room, then you should put everybody's name on the room who's staying there. You can just click use same address, use same phone number if you really want to, but it's not a big deal. But that's what I do. But you can put their address and stuff in there so that if they want to check in, if their names are on it, they can just, all they can do is get a new key. They can't technically check in because they have to show ID to check in, and they have to match the information that's on there, and they don't match the information if it's not the same address on their ID card. So just be careful with that. But if you can get, your friend's address or whatever, if it's like your best friend or something, then you probably know their address and phone number. So but if it's like someone online, like I room with strangers, like I let people come in and say I need a room, so I let them stay in my room for money, and I don't get their address and stuff because I don't know them. I wouldn't want them having my address. Why would I expect them to give me their address? I do get their phone number though, so that's a good thing to do though. Anybody that's in your hotel room, get their phone number just in case. If they're not comfortable giving you their phone number, get an email address or a Facebook or some way to get a hold of them, and make sure it's something they have on their phone, or something that if you need to get a hold of them during the convention, it can go onto their phone easily, or something, something like that, or a tablet they have with them that has like an email on it that they always carry on them, some way that they can always know that you're messaging them or something. But that's pretty much all you need to book it, really. Okay, but what if you're not booking the hotel and you're just staying with someone who did book it? Very different story. Give them your phone number. Like I said in just a little bit ago, they're gonna want your phone number. The person booking the room should have it, or a way to get a hold of you, just in case. You never know. And get their phone number, or a way to get a hold of them at all times. So make it like a two-way thing, where both of you have each other's contact information, just in case. What if you saw a maid stealing? I don't want to say that maids steal, but I've seen it. I've seen enough people talk about it. If you happen to see a maid steal out of like their bag or something, and you catch them in the act, they drop it, run, whatever, you can get a hold of them right away and say, hey, I saw a maid stealing from your stuff, you need to get up here now and move your bag, or we'll find a way to lock it or something. What happens, if you don't have any contact, then just hope they see you, and then they can tell you when they see you. No, you want to know right away. So you never know. So it's always a good idea to do that. Also, when you want to check in, if they've put your name on the room, which they should have, then all you have to do is show your ID and say, I'm in this room with this person. Make sure you know the bookies, or the person who booked the room. Make sure you know their first and last name. Make sure you know how to spell it too, just in case. Tell them you're in that room, and then, or it might help if you maybe forgot how to spell their name or something, but you know how to say it, and it's like a hard name to spell. You can ask what room they're in, and you can say, I don't know how to spell the name of this person, but it's in this room, and I'm also on the room, so here's my ID. And then they can see that you're on the room, and they'll let you have a key, and you can get in the room. But that's pretty much all you need. But if you're paying the person at the convention, like, you have a share of cost in the room. So maybe it's half, maybe it's a third, maybe it's a fourth, maybe it's a fifth, I don't know. Whatever your cost is for your stay to give to the person who you're staying with, if you have to bring that to the convention, bring that to the convention. Bring it in cash and hand it to them. Try and make it exact change too, if you can. Or at least like within like where if they need to give you change, it's probably like a 5 or some ones. Don't have like a $70, room cost and give them $100 and then expect them to give you change back, because they might not have that change. So it's a good idea to just bring as close to exact change as you can. So there are a couple things you need to be aware of at a hotel, or about a hotel, not really at the hotel, but this will happen at the hotel too. Some hotels don't have mini fridges and microwaves. Some do, some don't. Most do nowadays, but a lot still don't. Akicon, for example, that DoubleTree doesn't have any at all. They won't do anything about it. They have like 2, I think there's like one on floor 2 and one on floor 6 or something, and you have to go to one of those, whatever one you're closer to. Just go to that one, and then go back to your room. But the DoubleTree for NewCon, yeah, same hotel. They're both DoubleTrees. The DoubleTree in Portland for NewCon, they supply them on demand. So if you go up to the front desk and you say, we have, we're here for the weekend, we brought food to cook in a microwave, we brought soda for the fridge, would we be able to get a fridge and a microwave? They will give it to you if you ask. So they're the same hotel, same chain, but they have different things going on, and it's really weird. So call ahead of time to make sure they have those. And if they don't, I suggest not bringing anything you need to microwave, just in case. And then you don't have anything cold, so bring a cooler if you can. I bring a cooler, and I usually have 2 bags of ice, and then I fill it with the bags of ice. And then when the ice starts melting, I dump it in the sink and go get more. Also, make sure you know how much parking is going to cost. Some hotels don't have free parking at all. A couple of them do. I know. When we were at Akicon our first year, well, my first year, 2012, they were in the Hilton in, I don't even remember, Bellevue, I think. And they had free parking. Anybody could park in their parking lot, regardless. Because there was an event going on, I think it's why they did it. But it was free parking in the parking lot. It was an open parking lot for anybody who wanted to park. So, but like the hotels for SoccerCon, usually they're going to have things like the under the building, the underground garage. And you usually have to pay for that kind of stuff. So just know how much you have to pay before you go. There's usually only one complimentary spot, and if there's like 4 of you going, there's a good chance that there's going to be like 3 or 4 cars there. So you're gonna have to pay for something probably. Usually the person that booked the room gets that spot, unless like they state otherwise, like I can pay for it, if you can't, you can take the complimentary something, And if needed, the last part, ask if there's a balcony room. Tell them like that you need a room at the balcony. Usually it's a little bit more. It really depends on the hotel, but just see what you can do. It's good for if you're a smoker and you need to not go down 10 floors just to smoke a cigarette. You can just go right on the balcony. But be courteous and keep the door closed when you're doing that. So at the hotel, when you get there, there's going to be a couple things you're going to need. When you are booking the room, there are more things you need. You do need, I would take, just in case, the confirmation number. When you book the room, you'll get a confirmation number in your email. I would take that with you just in case, unless you can get it on your phone easily, or a tablet, or something where you can just pull it up easily. If you can't, just print it out, it's fine, or write it on a piece of paper for all I care. I mean, that's what I do. I just write it down on a piece of paper. They're all in my wallet. I fold them up with the prices and everything. Makes it all easy, and then I just fold it up, put it in my wallet, and then if I need any reason to give them a confirmation number, I just pull that out and show it to them. So, and then ID. You will need an ID, obviously, because you need to prove that you're you. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm me," and get the room. You need to prove it. And third, you will need the card that the room is under, like whatever card is paying for the room, which will be either your card or whoever is booking the room. If it's your parents, it'll have to be their card with their ID and all that kind of stuff. But use that card only, and they'll ask you for it. Then they'll do their little swipe thing. They have the keyboards with the little splice in them that you run the card through. We have them at my work, so I know what they look like. But you just slide it through, and it pays for it basically. And then they'll hand it back to you. Blah blah blah. Everything's fine. But just remember to bring that card specifically. And while you're up there, when they ask how many people are, well, they're not going to ask how many people are in the room. They're going to ask how many keys do you need, because if everyone else is checking in on their own, they'll get their own keys. But just say you need 4 anyway, just in case. Just get 4. Just say you need 4 keys, and then if anyone else gets a key, just be like, oh, I didn't know they showed up. They're not going to care. You give the keys back anyway. It doesn't really matter. This way, though, if you do lose a key, you have spares. Or if you have more than 4 people in your room and you're not supposed to, then you can use those keys for the extra people without staff knowing. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, though. It makes me look bad. So I'm just going to say don't do it. But I'm not going to stop you. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you, I'm only telling you not to because it makes me look better, more professional, not telling you guys to break the rules, I don't know. Do whatever you guys want. So I sort of talked about knowing your area. Ask the concierge. That's the desk. Like, there's a front desk and then there's another desk that's smaller. That's the concierge. What you're going to do is you're going to talk to them and you're going to ask them what's around the area if you don't know. So that's really all I really wanted to say about this, because all of this stuff is for when you are at the hotel. Because you're not going to ask the concierge like over email. You're going to ask them when you get to the hotel. My hair's in my face. Thank you. And they'll tell you what's around the area, or they should tell you. I've had some concierges that are they aren't doing their job, and I don't know why. Like, why'd you get the job if you don't want to do your job, But ask the concierge for, places that are around the area that are good to eat, good sightseeing places. If you're bored, like, let's say there's nothing to do Friday night, there's nothing really going on, and you don't care, so you're just like, well, let's look around town. He can help you look around town. He or she can help you look around town. They'll tell you what's around the area, and you can go wander off. And last but not least is check-in and check-out. So check-in is normally midday, somewhere between like 1 and 5 p.m. Usually 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. are the 2 main check-in times that's normal for a hotel. So try to get there around that time. You can get there earlier if you really want to. I've gotten rooms at noon before, or 11 in the morning sometimes. And actually at Kamoricon, I got a room at 10:30 in the morning, my first year. So, because we got there at like 10 in the morning, and then it was like a half hour, and they let us have a room because there was one open, and I was the only one there. So, that can happen if there's a room and the people have already checked out and there's a room ready to go, then they'll usually give it to you. And then checkout is usually noon, sometimes 1, sometimes 11. I've been at a hotel where it's been 11 in the morning. That's a hassle. 12 isn't as bad. It's noon. It's a normal time of day for people to be up and out. And 1 is just amazing to have. But most hotels will give you like a little bit of leeway. If you tell them we are getting our stuff ready, and is it possible to get an extension on checkout, some of them will be like, yeah, sure, be out of here by 1 basically. And you'll be like, okay, that's another hour, we can do this. And then you just got to hurry up and get out, because they can charge you past that. If you stay past checkout and you haven't checked out yet, or you haven't left, and the maids have gone to the room and you're still there past the time that you said you were going to leave, then they can charge you for a whole nother night. So be very careful. Oh, and one thing I did forget, stuff for your card. Make sure you have the money on your card, obviously, because you're paying with your card. But that should be, obvious. But there's another thing you might want to be aware of when it comes to charges. There is what is called a gratuities or incidentals. I call it incidentals. I don't know. My mom calls it gratuities. I don't know what it's actually called, but some hotels don't even know those words. So there is, per night, there's an extra charge. Sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's $100. Sometimes it could be more, could be less, I don't know. I've had it actually $25 before too. But when you do things like buying stuff at the hotel's gift shop, or paying for movies on TV, on their TV, or food service, things like that, or extra things that need to be charged to the room, you don't just go up and pay for them. They take it out of your card. So if you don't have it on your card, then it will pretty much, it'll take it out anyway. So if you only have, if your bank card, your debit card or credit card or whatever, only has the amount of the room on it, like say your room is $450 even, and that's all you have on there is $450. Well, if you spend like $25 more on stuff, you're going to be overdrafted $25 on that card because you can't just pay them in cash. It comes out of your card. So you're going to want to have what you can ask them, call them and ask them what the charge for gratuities or incidentals or whatever it is. Just kind of say, when you buy things and it gets charged to the room, whatever that's called, what's the cost of that? What do I need to have on my card for that? They'll tell you an exact number per night, 25, 50, 100, something. They'll say like $50, it's $50 per night for that. So if you're staying 3 nights, you're going to want $150 extra on your card just in case. And they do actually take that out of your card. When you swipe your card, they do take that entire amount. So that extra $150, they do take that. But it doesn't count against you on your card right away because it's technically not being spent. It's in limbo. Because if you don't use any of it and you don't buy anything, you don't use food service or anything, they will give it back to you. So it's in one of those states where it's like, don't overcharge this person. If this is overdrafting them, don't worry, it's going back on their card. But it does look bad. So I would have that amount on there anyway, just in case. So find out what that is, put it on there, and whatever. So, and lastly, all you have to do is check out. Sometimes checkout is difficult, to say the least. Some hotels actually physically want you to go down there and do a physical checkout where you hand them the keys and everything like that. And some of them will just say, oh, put the keys in the hotel room, just lay them on the desk, and leave, basically. You're done. As long as you're not there when we get up there, you're fine. You don't have to come check out, you don't have to talk to us or nothing, just, But there is one thing after you check out. Notice I'm kind of doing this in like chronological order of how things are going to happen. So after checkout, the only other real thing to worry about is if you have no car, because you can't, if you have a car, you can just bring all your bags to your car. What a big deal there, right? But what if you don't? Use bag check. Bag check is where you bring your bags, all your shit. You can even bring like your weapons and your wigs and stuff. Bring them down to the front desk and say, I need to use bag check. Is it possible? And be nice about it. Don't just say, I'm using bag check. Be like, I need to, I have a lot of bags. I need to use bag check if that's okay. Be nice to them. And then they'll put them in a room and they'll put like stickers on them. They're like usually little white stickers with numbers on them, and they'll all match. And then like they have maybe like 5 or 6 per number. So they'll use whatever they have for that number, and then they'll tear off the end of that. It's like a strip with a bunch of stickers on it, and then the stickers are the numbers. They put them on whatever, and then they tear off the end, and it's like a little stub, like a ticket stub. And then keep that on you. Don't lose it, because you can't get your bags without it, unless they remember you. Then they've remembered me sometimes when I'm like I didn't have the second one. They're like, yeah, I know these are yours. I saw you. I was here when you put them there. And you hand them it, and then they just go, okay, so these ones are all yours. Go ahead, take them, and then you leave, and then you go home, and then you have fun at home, and then you do what I do, and you do unboxing videos. So that is all. I don't really have anything else for hotels. That's about it. This did drag on a little bit longer than I hoped it would, but there's nothing I can do about that. I'm trying to edit this to make it shorter. We'll see. But that will end this episode. Catch me in the next episode, episode 5, where I'm going to be talking about guests. And there are there's 3 types of guests, but there's 2 categories. And I will talk about all of that. I'm going to talk about autographs and all the good stuff. So stay tuned for that, and like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you happen to like this and my other videos, why not go over to Twitter and give me a follow @J_cause. And while you're there, use the hashtag JTopics to give me suggestions for videos or ask me questions for a Q&A. As well as you can use hashtag JReacts, and you can give me suggestions for videos to react to, since now I can do that. Alright, have a good one, and see you guys later.